What's up, everybody? This is William from Before the Billions. I am a professional data engineer, and on my channel, I talk about many different discussions about different topics, and I do interviews on my channel. So, if any of those things have interested you, then please go check out my channel.
And the third rail is this. You talked about dressing. Now, long before the hoodies, I used to have to dress a certain kind of way for the same reason. For people in the chat and for people that really don't understand, can you explain dress code? And the reason I say that is because the media says racial profiling. I like to say you and I kind of got it a little bit different. But again, I don't want to put my thoughts into your head. You tell me how you understood changing the dress code.
Right. So, when it comes to dress code, I actually I went to a seminar about this too, right? And they broke it down into categories. You have your casual, right? And casual is not going to be, looking run down or anything like that, just wearing whatever you want. Casual is going to be, like you may wear jeans, right? You may wear jeans, you may wear like a button-up shirt or something like that. You don't have to, have the tie or anything like that, right? But you can wear jeans, you can wear like a nice shirt or something like that and look presentable. Um, you have your semi business.
Right.
I think it's the name. So semi business or
Business casual.
business casual. That's it. Business
Yeah.
casual, where you're wearing everything but the jacket, right? For men, right? So you're wearing everything but the jacket. You're wearing your slacks or your pants. So not jeans. Wearing your
Right.
button up shirt or you're wearing your button up shirt, and you can wear a tie, but it's not required for a business casual.
Right.
Um, and then you have your business, which is the whole suit,
Right.
right? And for women, it's the dress, right? So and then women can also wear a suit as well. But that's a newer thing. It used to be that women couldn't wear a suit.
Right.
Right, it used to be out of the ordinary to see a woman wearing a suit, but now women can wear suits and stuff like that, especially working in corporate.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Also, in addition to dressing, you need to smell good. You need to take care of your hygiene, right? You need to put on your cologne, put on your deodorant, especially, right? Put on your deodorant because nobody wants to smell nobody musty.
Right.
But I have been practicing putting on cologne every day or most days, right?
Right.
Because not only does it, because that's the sense. It's a sense that nobody can defend against, right?
Right.
You can't defend against your sense of smell. You can't just hold your breath. When you walk into the gym, when you walk in around the grocery store, when you go into to the post office or something like that, and you wearing your cologne, people take notice of that. Even if you wearing your mask, you can still kind of smell some cologne and stuff like that. And
That's
people will
true.
look at you like especially the women, they'll look at you like, oh, okay, what cologne do you have on? Even if they have a man, they be like, oh, okay, let me get that cologne so I can get it for my husband or something like that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
people
Right.
take notice of when you wear a cologne.
Right.
Um, and then it also helps your confidence as well. I'm wearing cologne right now, and it helps your confidence and it helps you to be able to to put your best step forward, right?
Right.
Because you come up in a suit, you're significantly less nervous, right? You like, okay, I look good, and you got a little more swag in your step. Oh yeah, I look good. Got my suit on, got my cologne on, I got my teeth brush, put the mouthwash in, floss my teeth, put the tongue scraper, all this, got my hair cut, all kinds of stuff. And all of those things lead to a better presentation, and people start to take you more seriously. I actually watched this video with Kevin Samuels where he was talking about how important it is for men to dress up,
Mm-hmm.
or important for men to dress well. and he was showing this article of it was a black kid or black, I won't say kid, it was a man, and he dressed up for a week and he dressed down for a week, and he noticed how people started treating him better as he dressed up. Right, he dressed up in a, he didn't dress up in a full suit, but he just wore like a, button up shirt. He wore like, some nice pants and some nice shoes and stuff like that. He noticed when he went into the store, people was like, "Oh, here goes this item," or, "Oh, do you need help?" All this other kind of stuff, right? But
Right.
when he dressed down, nobody tried to help him, right? People were, treating him differently, and he was like, "I just don't understand why. It shouldn't be this way." But the thing is that that's just how it is. And instead of dressing down and feeling like, okay, I should be allowed to just dress down if I want to. I should just be able to dress however I feel like. But
Right.
then you kind of get the reactions from people that you deserve, right? Is that, hey, that's what you came into the grocery store with. Okay, well, if people don't offer up help for you, then go ahead and ask. But then if you dress up and you notice that people want to help you more, or people are more friendly with you, then that's just how people are. And the world doesn't really owe you understanding, and that's what, I know that Kevin Samuels says it all the time, but
Hmm.
that's what it is. Yeah,
You brought up Kevin Samuels, and as you know, on these YouTube streets, that's the fiery thing. And you brought him up as an example of how a man should dress, how a man should smell. And for a lot of people, it's Kevin Samuels attacks women, but you talked about the Kevin Samuels that taught you how to level up as a man.
mhm,
So let's talk about that.
right. And I'll be honest, that's the only part of Kevin Samuels that I ever bring up. I'll never bring up the Kevin Samuels who talks about height, weight, dress size, or anything like that. I always talk about when he's talking about men, right? That's the only one most of the time I always bring up.
And without worry or fear, because this is not a Kevin Samuels bashing or a Kevin Samuels praising. You know, a lot of people don't know that Kevin Samuels taught the men for the first 3 to 4 years on YouTube. Strictly men. He was all about men. It wasn't until this video, Average at Best, blew up that everybody even got to know who he was in the sense of talking to a woman. So I want to stay on that course because he influenced you in so many ways. So let's talk about that. Let's have that conversation. How did Kevin Samuels influence you as a man?
Right. He said a lot of things that he said a lot of things my dad would say. Like they're the same age, right? My dad and Kevin
Okay.
Samuels are around the same age. If not like a year apart maybe. And they of course they have the same kind of sentiments, right? They both from the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad will kind of tell me a lot of these things too. But Kevin Samuels kind of articulated in a way like, okay, not only did he make it entertaining, right?
Right.
He had like a formula behind it. So he would talk about being confident, intelligent, and assertive as a man. And I can agree with that, being confident, intelligent, and assertive. And assertive is probably one of the biggest things that I had to struggle with
Mm.
growing up, because I always told myself like, man, I really don't want to be mean, right? I
Mm.
always want to be nice, and then people used to take advantage. Even my mom would tell me like, okay, you need to start being assertive. You need to start telling people, okay, this is exactly what you need to do. This is exactly what you want. And one of the things I have learned from Kevin Samuels is I answer questions directly, right? So when I was younger, I used to go around the question, or try to, like not really get to the point. But if somebody's asking me like, okay, do you like when lead attorney says, do you have a YouTube channel? And then I say, yes, I do. And I don't go any further than that. I say, yes, I do. And then when lead attorney asks, what's your YouTube channel? Then that's when I answer the question, right? So that's one of those things I picked up. And it also I've learned more communication skills just by watching some of the interactions he's had with people. Obviously he's the reason why I started this YouTube thing as well. Well, a big contributing factor to it because right after the After the Best video, I said, you know what, I've been watching Kevin Samuels for a while now. I used to have him up on my big screen TV, and then I'll be like, you know what, let me go ahead and start a YouTube channel, and let me do it to where I can have people call in. And I did it, and now I'm having people call in, and I'm having great discussions with great people, great interviews, and stuff like that. Wait, were you saying something?
No, tell me the difference, because you talked about speaking assertively, and you said you got it from Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
And argumentatively, people would say, well, he's not an assertive talker. He's badgering. His tone is off. And here you saying you learn how to go from being passive to assertive. So what's the difference between being assertive or aggressive or overbearing? What do those words mean to you, and how do you distinguish that?
Right. So being assertive is more so saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Right. Coach Clinician even brought that up as well.
Okay.
And he's a man who says exactly what he means. And being aggressive is overpowering somebody. I'm gonna yell over you instead of telling you like, okay, you know what? If I want, let's say this, I want um somebody to hand me something, right? Let's say I want somebody to hand me a bottle of water. I'm not gonna sit up here and ask them like, "Oh, I'm not going to sit there and yell at them, like, why didn't you pass me the bottle of water yet?" Stuff like that. I'm gonna say,
Right.
"Okay, hey, can you please pass me the bottle of water?" And then just get straight to the point. Right now, that's a light example, but that's kind of what it is. It's like assertive is, I want the bottle of water. Can you pass it to me, please? And then they pass it to you. You're asking them, and you're telling them exactly what you want. But then being aggressive is, I'm going to make you feel bad for maybe not doing it at a certain period of time, not doing it fast enough, or, I'm going to try and, like, somebody speaking, and then I try to yell over them because I'm trying to make my point. I'm not listening to what they're actually saying.
Right.
Right. And you see that a lot on YouTube where there is, I even brought this up in my last video, but I
Okay.
brought up how there's panels where there's a lot of people talking at the exact same time, and then they have people calling people out of their name, yelling over each other, and arguing for no real reason, right? And you'll see that, and you'll be like, okay, you know what? There's no order in this. You're not being assertive. You're not saying what you want to say. You're yelling over somebody because they're not listening to what you're not they're listening to what you're saying, or you want to talk over them because you don't believe that they deserve the same respect as you do in this conversation or argument.
Mm. Okay. So with that being said, let's dig deep, because I like the way your mind frame is going. Um, and like I always would tell anybody, and I know you've heard me say it a zillion times, I am not trying to push a narrative. I'm not trying to pump one group up over the other, but you're tapping into an area that there's so much controversy. And no matter how I feel, how anybody else feel, the impression you got from him. What other, now you mentioned um kosher cognition.
Yes.
How has kosher cognition influenced you, or has he?
Yeah, he has, and I've been on his panel a few times. I went on his panel a few days ago, and he's just saying like, "Hey, you know what? I am." He's even saying like, he's glad that I come up he calls me the young lion because we both Leos. So shout out to the coach clinician. He talks a
Yes.
lot about healing, a lot about men's healing. I went on his panel a while ago, and I was talking about how I grew up as well, like I did earlier in this live stream.
Right.
And he was talking about my dad, and we were talking about some of the things that my dad that I've learned from my dad as well, and some of the things my dad used to tell me.
Right.
Um, so he's helped me out with a lot of his videos that he's talking about, men's health and mental health and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to the kosher clinician.
Yes. Now, also heard you talk about Anton Daniels before.
Yes.
So, how has he influenced you? And ironically, I done chose 3 men's names that, in theory, is very controversial, but I don't see their controversy. But I do know that they're very controversial. So, I like to hear how did Antoine Daniels influence you, if he did, in what area?
Right. So Anton, the funny thing is that I found out about Anton through TLA. Right,
Okay.
when he came on TLA's his channel, and I was like, man, I didn't agree with anything that Anton was saying at first. I was like, man, I was like, get him TLA. And then I was like, you know what? Let me listen to what he's saying, right? And then what I did was I ended up subscribing to Anton through that. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me see. In the very next episode, lead attorney went on to Anton Daniels' channel. And I
Mhm.
said, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and cam up. And I cammed up in a suit, right?
Right.
First time wearing a suit on one of these panels. Also, my first time jumping up on Anton's platform as well. And I did suppose I did absolutely well because there was a lot of people who subscribed to me after I went on Anton's panel,
Mhm.
right? And then there was a lot of people like, "Hey, you did a fantastic job." I came up in a suit, and then Anton was like, he was just warm to me. He was like, "Oh, you know what? We like before the billions. Before the billions, you killing lead attorney in this suit, right?" And I was like, "Hey, you know what? Let me start wearing suits more often." All right. So yeah, I came up with my suit, and then lead attorney was like, I had like this, I guess, semi-viral video. The lead attorney going in on me, talking about, um, he was like, "Look here, before the business come up on my panel 20 times, and he always comes up in some rundown sketchers and some shorts, camouflage shirt. He comes up, he comes on his hair undone and stuff like that, and then he comes up on a millionaires panel, and he comes up in a suit." He said, "They'll absolutely do you wrong." But that was actually one of the funniest videos from there. But from Anton himself, a lot of the things he talks about, as it's similar to what I talk about on my channel too,
Okay.
about having to, 'cause, he used to be a software engineer, but also he talks about how you need to level up, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not, in the level up community or anything like that. I think there's a whole community of
Right.
people. But I am most definitely like, okay, you know what? I'm trying to get more people into like the tech industry.
Right.
Like me, because it's the one of the best return on investments when you get that kind of degree, a STEM degree.
Right.
And then also I made videos based off of the conversations I've had with Anton. So I
Mm.
made full-length videos, the Jack of all trades video,
Okay.
and also can I prove that luck exists? That was actually the first video I made because I disagreed with Anton
Right.
vehemently because I was like, luck does exist. And then I
Right.
was like, okay, let me go ahead and make this video saying, can I prove that luck exists? And a lot of people, and that was the first time I actually finally had somebody jump up on my panel. And that was Joe L. I never
Okay.
forget it. And that's exactly what I was trying to do when I saw the average at best video, and I said I want
Right.
to start this YouTube channel. I
Right.
said I want to have people come up on my panel, and it wasn't until I started responding to Anton Daniels to where, hey, now I have somebody actually jumping on my panel like I wanted, since December,
Right.
right? So that was a long time coming, and I am glad that I've gotten a lot of not only content from Anton Daniels, but also learned a lot as well through a lot of his videos, and also
That's
speaking
awesome.
with him as well.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
matter of fact, I have one more thing to add in
Go ahead.
because I have late night work sessions
Yeah.
because Anton had his late night work session. So I completely stole that idea. I was like, you know what? Let me do this. This was fun. It's fun on Anton's channel doing a
Right.
late night work session. So let me do a late night work session. So that's why you see me super late at night, like 11 o'clock, all the way to 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, working on my website and stuff like that. So shout out to Anton for giving me the
Shout
inspiration
out to
for that.
Anton. All right, I'm gonna take a quick. I want to give a shout out to Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels hit me up and gave me some positive motivational words. And I want to shout him out for keeping me also accountable to you. Now, I know you get a lot of content creators that they want their 1,000 subscribers, their 4,000 watch hours. But the most beautiful thing that I got to hear was take care of that 300 and do the best you can with that 300, because that 300 is you. Make sure that your content is right for your 300. And so guess what? I'm doing the best I can, and I'm not fighting for the 1,000. I'm fighting for each and every single one of you. I want to see you change. I want to see you get better. I want to see you develop better. I'm not going to be having no drama on this page. Intellectual conversations, we'll have that all day long. Certain controversies, we'll have that all day long. But drama, we're not having. I'm not going to have a page where I'm going to be hating all women all day. And I'm not going to have a page where we're going to hate men all day. There's enough YouTubers that can give you all their hate speech that they want. That's not happening here. Another thing that's not going to happen here is I'm about intellectual conversation. So if you want to be 5 years old and hate me because maybe I've listened to Kevin Samuels, or I rock with Anton Daniels, or I may be rocking with Real Talk with Melissa. If you don't like the content creators I'm trying to connect with, hey, I'm sorry, you can leave. I ain't got time for all of that stuff. I'm about whoever got some answers and solutions for any problems, I'm going after that content creator. Period. If you don't like the fact, if I did a post about Antoine, or if I decide to do a post about Kevin Samuels, or I do one about Real Talk with Melissa Barron, if you don't like them, I'm sorry. They ain't did nothing to me, so I can't go on your feelings. If they got something to educate me, I'm rocking and rolling with whoever can teach me, period. I understand that there's a lot of people that is sensitive. They'll hate somebody. They want to do this with somebody, do that. That's not what I'm about. So if you about that kind of life, if you about that kind of drama, you want to just go running around, you want to do that, you go for it. That's not happening here. This is not my platform. This is your platform. And I want people to be able to have the freedom to come up here, ask questions, and get the hard answers they're looking for. I'm a grown, pardon my expression, y'all, I'm a grown-ass man. And I ain't about to let nobody tell me who's allowed to be on my platform or who I need to be connected with. It ain't happening. So you can take your elementary school mindedness somewhere else. There's a whole lot of other platforms you can run onto and do what you want to do. Period. When you are able to raise your right hand and go fight in this military for the freedom of speech, then come holler at me. Outside of that, I don't want to hear it. Period. Period. I got women that are good, and I know women that are bad. I know men that are good, and I know men that are bad. So this all women, all men stuff ain't happening here. I'm here to do what I said I was going to do on my platform. Empower men and get women to understand the man they are with and want to love. Some of my sisters are not that far from being married. Trust and believe. I'm a grown man. Some of my brothers are not that far from being a good man to get them a good woman and rise up and raise up a good black family. Sorry, if you don't want to believe it, that's the way it's happening here. Y'all say y'all looking for a good man? Well, I understand the man I got on the platform ain't available. That's my understanding. Are you available, sir?
No, I'm not available.
All right. But either way it go, if you want an example, here we go. An educated black man, a college-educated black man, an engineer, a man that loves Jesus, and a man that ain't running around talking about how bad women are. So you want the image of a good black man? There we go. I got him on the platform. So all the women that's talking about we're the good black men, here he is. He's just not available to you, but there we go. So we're going to start destroying narratives on this platform. And that's what I'm bringing to the stage on this platform. We're destroying narratives, and we're going to bring light into the dark world of YouTube. Period. If you don't like the narrative that I'm talking, trust me, you got a whole universe of YouTube you can run to, and you can go cry, snot, and all that. I'm looking for real men who want to do real things in their real community, not the virtual world, the real world. Period. All right, that was my little 5-minute rant